Hi there, Linda Artesani Bookkeeping and QB Community Live co-founder, and I am here for this is our 5th week of mentoring, Rossana?
I think it's the 4th.
Is it? No, I combined 2, so I think it's the 5th. But go ahead, tell us a little bit about you and your practice and what you're looking for today. You can kind of set the table for it.
Yes, I am Rossana Laib with Next Door Bookkeeping, and yes, Linda is mentoring me on today would be the settings of lien law to go through that. So I have questions on that regarding how you separate everything and what you put in which categories from QuickBooks, and yeah.
Cool. So we actually started out with some questions on LawPay. So let me share my screen. I'm just going to go over a little bit. I'll give you a little tip for next week because I do have a demo already being set up for me. That'll be a demo file so we can actually dig into it and play around with it with my demo company file and my demo legal file. So we're going to add those stacks because they were really excited about not even promoting them in my workflow. And so they're going to let me have a demo file to play my little playground, the sandbox. So yay, I know. I'm very happy. So here's LawPay's website, right? And I'm not going to go through all the steps about it, but what it is they actually have a link. So when you invoice out of LawPay, and you've probably seen this because you have a client that uses it exclusively, it puts a link on the page and the payments all processed through LawPay. LawPay is specific to the legal industry, although they do have an accountant's version of it, which is pretty cool. And it also is a place that you can, what's the really best part about LawPay is that if you work in trust accounting, as you know, if I charge you $3,000 and you pay me with a credit card for $3,000, that $3,000 has to hit my IOLTA or trust account. It can't be $3,000 minus the bank fee. So this is where LawPay is king of the hill here, because most services like Intuit Merchant Services will pull out and give you the net, and they'll take the merchant fee out, which is a big no-no. So LawPay will cover that and take it and put the fee out of the operating account and actually make the deposit to the IOLTA, which is why I recommend LawPay for anybody doing trust accounting. It's the best. Now, I usually recommend Intuit Merchant Services for the other. We have it when we set up clients brand new with working with us at my firm. I actually do that as a step of the process of getting them going in it and get them all set up into Merchant Services, because that piece is super automated, where as you know, with lien law, we have work to do when people pay us. So let's go to lien law now. So what I want to tell you, for one quick tip for you, do this: schedule a demo with them.
Okay. You
can ask them any question. When I first started doing niching and started working in the law field, I did that. We had a nice meeting with a very nice man named David, who was my rep, and you might even get David, and he was fantastic and walked me through it. Sometimes once you get connected to them, they will have specials where they'll have a special. So if you sign up an attorney through you, they'll give them like free 3 months. They even did a 6-month one once, where they actually get the service for free for 6 months or 3 months or whatever the deal is going on. So, and you can become a partner with them. So it's pretty cool. Most of the apps let us do that, like lien law does. So we're going to go to lien law now. You had a question about templates.
Right. Yes. So yes, I just need to understand where goes what. The expensive, like hard costs, soft costs, the products and services, and all this information.
Yeah, well, this is the thing with lien law. Lien law lets us have one sales account, one income account, one. They don't let us break it down into a lot of them. It's just one, because what it does on their side is it will break it out. So if you have work with an attorney that does maybe, specifically does like immigration, but also does estate planning or a combination of services they sell, and they want to break out the services, you do that in lien law and not in QuickBooks, because QuickBooks will let us have as many accounts, but lien law will only connect to one. So we have to make sure that we do that piece of it on the lien law side, which is what can be confusing. So there's only one income account, but we can do the breakout of the income for the attorneys in lien law and not in QuickBooks. That makes sense.
Okay.
So
Yes.
because it's the customer side, right? It's the customer piece. It's the time and billing. So that's where that happens. And that's where all the good reports are for anything to do with sales or customers related. We want to be in lien law. We really don't need to be in QuickBooks, because this is like it's like putting the attorney's suit and tie on QuickBooks, right? It takes QuickBooks, which is a general program for everybody, and makes it specific to the legal industry. So fixed templates, fixed fee templates are like, I work with an immigration attorney. She sells packages, and a lot of the attorneys are starting to move towards this, like the accounting industry's moved away from doing hourly. Some of the law firms are actually getting proactive with this too. And this is a place that they're able to put packages together. She has a package. So if somebody comes in and needs, naturalization, there's a package, and she has them pay in like progress billing. They pay a deposit, then they pay and they pay. And she has this package. It's nothing to do with the trust account at all. It's just accounts receivable. So she does that here in lien law, and it works really well. And it just can really quickly create a fixed fee if it's a fixed fee thing. If this is not for the trust accounting, though, this is for fixed fee templates, is generally for the accounts receivable. It's just to save time. Can you hear my dog snoring right now?
Mine are sleeping.
So practice areas is just where if depending on the firm, I could do like estate planning. You can do immigration. I mean, whatever the law firm has for their type of legal services, that this is where you want to start to break it out for the client, so they can start to see. Just had a client the other day that had all the people's names on the balance sheet. So it had law firm income Mary, law firm income Joe. It was like a parent account and all sub accounts with all the partners' names on it. And then they put an X in front of the people that were no longer there, but maybe were there during the year. And I'm like, oh, you should have seen this chart of accounts. I was
my gosh.
Goodness, that had to be fun. But that was the way they were tracking it in QuickBooks. They didn't know about classes. Would have been a little bit cleaner of a job, because they did the same thing with the expenses. Some of the expenses, they broke it up by the partner or the attorney, and it was like, oh, this chart of accounts went on for days, and it's like, oh, feel bad for that bookkeeper, but yeah. Scroll through page 3, page 4. I mean, some firms have that. I mean, the one I have with the estate planning one's 2000 trust is a lot of pages but that's where lien law comes in handy, because you can go into lien law and work in here on the trust stuff. And it's so simple and quick to go find, like if I want to find the trust, I can just come to the trust account and then type in the name, and then I'm there. But going back to the settings here, and then of course you can click back to QuickBooks with just a couple of clicks. So I'm not searching through a major, giant list. You can search in QuickBooks pretty quick too. So fixed fee, we're in, we're into practice areas. We did the fixed fee templates. So expense templates are just ways to save time when you start to throw soft costs in. So soft costs, and you could use them for hard costs too, but it's just really for soft costs. So things like copying. How can I possibly put a number on what it takes to use the copy machine, the electricity, you pay for the copy machine, maybe you pay a lease, and you're paying for somebody to go physically make the copy. So there's an overhead cost to doing, there's cost to I shouldn't say overhead, there's cost to the law firm to actually make copies for a matter or a client. So they put a fee on a number and then just go forward. Mileage here, I see a lot of attorneys do mileage. So they'll do, normally it would say like, they put a rate, whatever the rate is, and then they put the rate in there, and then they calculate the miles, and then they'll do that on an actual, when you get into the expenses. So when you're typing in expenses, soft costs, like mileage is a soft cost, right? You pay for the car, you pay for the gas, you pay for the upkeep of the vehicle, the insurance, all that is all a factor. So you have to put a number on it. So use the mileage number to charge back. So if the attorney has to drive to meet with, do a deposition somewhere, go to court or whatever, they can actually charge that back to the client. But there's no way to physically find that cost. It's a cost overall to the firm, but to pinpoint it for that one client, it's just one big cost like postage. I might buy a roll of stamps. I'm not going to go and divvy out every stamp I put on an envelope. I just charge postage. So that's where your soft costs come in.
Okay.
Hard costs are like I go to the courthouse and I have to pay a filing fee for my case for Mary Smith, because Mary Smith is specific to Mary Smith. I write a check, I pay for that one filing fee for Mary Smith. That's a hard cost. And I have to, enter that into QuickBooks, or even a bill. Say I get a bill for court reporting, and the court reporting bill comes for Mary Smith's case. So I have a bill, and that's a hard cost. It's just for her, and it's just for the reporting that was done during her case. So that's a hard cost. And you put the bill in, it goes, all of this is part of your WIP, your work in process. So you're going to bill that back to the customer, whether it's part of a trust or whether it's not a part of a trust, but it's part of accounts receivable. But that's all part of billing the customer, which is why it would get entered. It's just the hard costs are more apt to get entered. Either if you don't use HubDoc, you're entering it manually into QuickBooks, and then you're tagging advanced client costs, and then it's getting brought up here to be billed back, or you're putting it through HubDoc, it's getting into QuickBooks and still making its way up, and you're tagging the matter, which is my preferred way because it's a lot simpler. A lot of these attorneys use one company for all their court reporting, and so I can tell HubDoc it's XYZ company, XYZ court reporting, and it goes to advanced client costs, but then I don't have it automatically go in. I actually get the bill in by email, it sees it, codes it, then I go in and just do the last step of adding the matter, and then boom, send it to QuickBooks. The picture is attached to the bill, and then it sends it to Lien Law, and it's ready to be billed back to the client, and it's a sweet flow.
That's so nice. I can't wait to be in this.
I love it. It's something that I can tell you when you take somebody from, which we were talking about on the Accounting Pro thing the other day, when you take somebody from desktop world where they're typing everything in and show them that, they're like, wow. So it's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Any other questions on this kind of stuff, or?
No, that's pretty good.
Okay, hopefully it
That is very helpful.
So next week we'll dive into LawPay. But at least this way, we've got a little something here to understand soft costs, hard costs, which are, my Rhode Island accent just can't say hard. There's an R in there, I promise you, I'm working on it. Yeah, so we can dive into that next week. And did you have any other questions that you wanted to?
No, this is great. This is something that will help me now to set it up for my lawyer and get it ready to go. So thank you.
So till next week, everybody have a wonderful, wonderful, successful week.